Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
What brings you out to this eatery, this illegal eatery, I might add?
Just support
Oh, is
for
that
freedom,
right?
yeah.
So why is it, do you think that, Adam's point, and it's a valid one, I think, when you have the Walmarts and the Costcos of the world open, but all these little businesses shut down under threat of heavy penalties, why are we tolerating this double standard in the first place?
We shouldn't be. I think a lot of people are scared. I think that's the reason why people are tolerating it. A lot of people are just scared to stand up. They don't know their rights. They don't know that this is just a mandate.
What does it feel like to put defiance on the menu?
Feels fucking amazing, bro.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, I'm at Adamson Barbecue, and there's a new item on the menu today. I think it's called Defiance, and they're serving up a heap and helping of it. You see, Adamson Barbecue, being in Toronto, they are supposed to be closed. Toronto went into a gray zone lockdown mode at the stroke of midnight on Sunday. It's Tuesday, day 2, and the owner, Adam Skelly, is opening in defiance of it. He has said on social media, enough is enough.
Enough is enough. I complied with the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. I complied again during the second wave when we locked down, when Doug Ford promised us that there would be supporting evidence to shut down the restaurants, bars, and gyms. He didn't provide it. We got something a little bit later talking about outbreaks. But the data from Toronto Public Health that came out 2 weeks ago show that two of the over 10,000 Ontario COVID deaths were linked to bars, restaurants, and retails. So why are we getting singled out and the big multinational corporations are all essential while they're packed? Come on, guys. Enough is enough. We're opening for anybody who's a fan of freedom and sovereignty, the right to choose what you wear, where to go, who to have over at your house, what businesses you can go to. I'd love to meet you tomorrow. I'll be there at the door in Etobicoke at 11. Thank you guys very much for listening, and have a wonderful day.
This is what we call united non-compliance. They can't even stop one of us from opening. What happens when hundreds of businesses open?
What do you make of, the double standard? Adam has said enough is enough. I assume he's referring to the fact that you could have a big box store like Walmart, Costco, they're open, they can serve food, they can serve prepared food, but a little guy like him has to be shut down. Does that make sense to you?
It's not supposed to make sense because it's not about health, safety, or making sense. It's about control, and it's about creating dependence. They want to crush small businesses because small businesses are independent people. And then the government doesn't own them, the government serves them. As soon as your small business like this gets taken from you, and now you're on CERB, the government owns you.
And this looks like it's going to be their record day of revenue, so people are voting with their wallets in terms of how they feel about these lockdowns.
The only downside from all of this is that they're going to run out of food.
I think and it's just noon now. How do you like that?
I was planning on getting some, but I don't think it's even going to happen today. But I'll make the sacrifice for the greater good.
It's just coming up for noon, folks, and we see that the police and bylaw enforcement have arrived here at the barbecue. And I'm just wondering what they're planning to do, if they're going to give a ticket out. And hi, officer, are you going to be ticketing the restaurant today?
Not us, no.
No? Is it just here for crowd control, maybe, or traffic? Or
Keep the peace. Keep the peace.
Okay. Is anyone acting out violently?
No, not right now. Maybe the rebel.
Hey, maybe I can buy you a sandwich. I heard it's really good.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then. All right, well, the police are very friendly. They're just here to keep the peace, they just told me. And although I do see some bylaw enforcement officers, yeah, they might have a ticket book out. And, well, you never know who you're going to bump into at an illegal eatery. It is none other than Vlad of Hugs Over Masks. And fancy meeting you here today.
I know, right? I even dressed up for the occasion. I know I'm going to see you. No, I mean, the reality is we are all essential. We are all essential, and we have to stand up for what we know is right.
Yes.
And we're here to support the businesses. And I think this is going to be a great example for all the other businesses to open up.
Yes.
And the reality, we know as an adult, we can make our own choice. choices. If somebody feels safe to come, they should come, and if not, they can stay home and they can wear the mask. And that's how we've done it all this time.
But I don't understand why this little barbecue restaurant is, I don't know, a super spreader destination, whereas a Costco, a Walmart, with far more people in their environs, why they get a free pass. What do you make of this double standard?
You open a business, you say open, and you open. But the reality is this is assault on the small business framework of our society. And that happened before in history, where we want to create a tyrannical government and then suppress the free thinkers, which primarily is actually consist of the business class.
Well, speaking of tyranny, I hate to break away from you, Vlad, but I see the police are behind the counter now. I just spoke to those officers. They said to me that they were originally here just to keep the peace.
Yes.
I don't see any Pure 5 brawls happening. I see a lot of happy diners. But what do you make what's going on behind the scenes right now with those police?
Police officers, for the most, are definitely friendly and they're on our side. They're doing their job, protecting what's going on. We have a bylaw officers here. We have health inspectors as well, and they're just walking around inspecting. I spoke with Adam during our march on Saturday at the protest, and I said, we'll support you anyway. If you're gonna get fined, that's fine. At this point, getting the fine is a badge of honor. That means you stood up for the tyranny of this government, and you said enough is enough. And fine is actually the least of our problems because we know what's coming next.
Well, folks, the police officers that were here earlier to basically keep the peace, they said, although I just see a whole lot of happy, hungry people here. They've been talking for the last 15 minutes with Adam, and there's also bylaw enforcement going by. So as soon as we get a chance to talk to Adam, we will, and we'll find out if he's received any kind of a ticket.
For their future, so they have the same opportunities that I was provided.
Hey Adam, what did the police and bylaw officer say to you?
They were all very respectful. They made sure that they took a look through, and I'm a little overwhelmed right now, brother. They made sure they took a look at the different rules that we're supposed to be complying with. They found that we were in non-compliance of people eating inside. Everything else was good. We're contact tracing. We have the signs posted so that the customers maintain social distancing, but it looks like there's a little bit of civil disobedience happening today. They decided not to enforce that, and it sure isn't my job as a guy who cooks brisket to enforce government regulations.
Adam, do you think you're a catalyst for so many other businesses in the same position you are, with your backs up against the wall, just trying to earn a livelihood, that they will look upon what you've done today and they will also open up in civil disobedience?
Of course, I know I'm going to be the catalyst for this. When everybody stands up and says enough is enough, that's when we're going to see this end.
And what is the ostensible policy reason in the first place of shutting down a little mom-pa operator like you, and yet the Costcos, the Walmarts, the Loblawses of the world, they get to open? It seems to be a double standard, doesn't it?
Don't ask me, man. How am I supposed to know? I don't make policy. I'm just supposed to enforce it at my restaurant. I don't know why that's happening, but it doesn't feel right to me, and I know there's a lot of other people it doesn't feel right to them either.
Well, I'm looking at this lineup, Adam. How soon are you going to run out of food?
If we haven't sold out of some meats already, I'm sure we're going to very soon. We had a lot of support today. We have some freedom-loving patriots that are here to support. I'm sure we'll be out of food in no time.
And no fines so far, right?
No, sir. Not a single fine issued today to my business, myself, or anybody who came here to support.
What does it feel like to put defiance on the menu?
Fucking amazing, bro.
Well, sir, I'm looking at this lineup. It stretches right onto the road, right through the parking lot. What brings you out here today?
Well, supporting the local businesses, supporting the people that need our support. At the end of the day, we're all in this together the right way, right? And the right way is fighting all these unlawful and biased bylaws, right? All these criminal bylaws, I could say.
It's interesting you say biased bylaws, because the likes of Walmart, Loblaws, Costco, they can open up, they can serve thousands of people every day per store, and yet a small mom and pop store, the government comes down like a papal bull on them. Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's pretty ridiculous, but at the same time, I'll tell you, it's corporate interests, right? When we're talking about the 1%, we're not talking about the rich small business owners, right? That's what they kind of display it as, those guys that just became millionaires last year. We're talking about the multi-billion and trillion-dollar companies that are owning half the country.
What brings you out to this eatery, this illegal eatery, I might add?
Just support for freedom, yeah.
So why is it, do you think, that, I mean, Adam's point, and it's a valid one, I think, when you have the Walmarts and the Costcos of the world open, but all these little businesses shut down under threat of heavy penalties, why are we tolerating this double standard in the first place?
We shouldn't be. I think a lot of people are scared. I think that's the reason why people are tolerating it. A lot of people are just scared to stand up. They don't know their rights. They don't know that this is just a mandate.
So, sir, what brings you out to this illicit, illegal eatery that's opening in defiance of the province?
So I don't think it's illegal. I think it's legal of what he's doing. He's a small business owner, so am I. So I fully support Adam and what he's doing. It's time for us to band together as a society and become one and really understand what's really going on behind the scenes.
Well, you know, you'll never know who you're going to meet at an illegal restaurant opening. We got Jason of the Minden 50s, is it 50s Diner?
50s Diner.
And
right.
Jason, you were on the edge of doing exactly the same thing months ago when your region was in stage 1. First of all, what's the update on your diner?
Well, first of all, I just want to tell you that I support this guy. I drove 3 hours. I just read the news this morning, said that he was opening and protesting. I drove 3 hours to support him because I agree with what he's doing here.
And it looks like you're not the only one. I've never seen a lineup for a barbecue this big. Do you think this eatery will serve as a catalyst that more businesses will say, the hell with it, I've got nothing to lose, my back is against the wall, and they too will open?
100%. 100%. I think a lot of people are feeling that way right now, that they just feel like they have nothing to lose. Regardless if they stand up or not, they're going to have to shut their doors anyway, so they might as well fight for the rights.
At the end of the day, we've already lost so much. So, yeah, we just got to open up. We got to be safe and do what we have to do. People that want to wear masks, no problem. People that don't want to wear masks, no problem. People that are afraid of the virus, you know what, keep your family safe, keep yourself safe. Stay at home, do what you have to do to be successful, but we're going to do what we need to do to be successful as well.
I sure hope so. You know, when I did what I did back in June, I went to other restaurants to see if they would join my crusade, and they looked at me like I was crazy, and I had to do it solo, and I hope more people will stand up like he is.
Because they think that they could bully us around, and for the last 10, 15, 20 years, they've been fighting against bullies at schools and around the world. And now they're taking those tactics and putting it towards us, and it just ain't fair anymore. So we're gonna fight the bully.
Okay then. Well, fight the bully and have a big brisket while you're at it.
Absolutely.
You know, why the double standard if this is all about flattening the curve?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with flattening the curve. As I did multiple videos of me walking around all these big box stores, touching everything, but all its restaurateurs are closed. It doesn't make sense. There's something really fishy going on here, and you know, it's about time people take a stand.
Well, folks, there was a brief scrum put on by the Toronto Police Service, and an Inspector Crone evidently said that while no charges have been laid yet, charges are going to be likely in the future. So we're going to keep in touch with Adam to find out if and when and what amount he's going to be fined for, well, basically providing lunch for so many happy customers.
So what do you say to small businesses who are looking at this example and seeing this these doors not being closed right away and saying, okay, maybe I might mimic something like this? What would you say to those small businesses?
I would say to them, I discourage similar activity because it is unlawful. It is against the Reopening of Ontario Act, right? And again, I would appeal to everyone's sense of public safety and a sense of working together to try and again flatten the curve. And again, I know it's a hardship for people, right? And you know, that's what they have to consider, right?
Well, folks, it's coming up for 1 o'clock, and I think Adam is about to run out of stock. There is still a huge lineup outside his little barbecue. And I can tell you another thing that's noticeable. The entire media party, or media mob, if you will, is here. We got the CBC, City TV, CTV, Global just left, CFRB, another CTV truck here. I can only imagine what their narrative is going to be about Adam opening his barbecue restaurant. I have a pretty good hunch what they're going to say. But you know what, folks? Here's the good news. As the old saying goes, there's no such thing as bad publicity. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, if you can, please go to journalistdefensefund.com. If you're able to, make a donation. Sometimes we have lawyers to pay, other times it's bodyguards, but it's worth it when it comes to bringing you the other side of the story.